Nene, Wendy Williams is not your friend. Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Libra Views. I'm Charlene. Subscribe to the channel and like the video and share it on social media. So, as many of you guys probably already know, Wendy Williams and Nene Leakes semi got into it over the internet over the past couple of days, okay? Now, apparently Nene has been going live with Kim Zolciak and Tamar Braxton and, different women in the industry. And Nene took it upon herself to call Wendy Williams. Now, I didn't see Nene's live when Nene was attempting to contact Wendy Williams. I just found out that all this was going down when Wendy Williams went on her virtual show. And I guess during her Hot Topics, she basically called out Nene for calling her on FaceTime in the middle of the night while she had all of these people around her, so on and so forth, and how she didn't appreciate it, and Nene didn't call her to apologize. Now, when I actually watched the live that Nene was on, and she called Wendy, it didn't really go how Wendy tried to make it seem like how it was just so loud and ghetto and ratchet, and Nene and Wendy Williams was trying to get her rest, and Nene just interrupted her and was just rude and inconsiderate. And for me, I didn't really get that from watching the live. So, but Wendy Williams is a little she exaggerates a lot, and she's theatrical and over the top anyway. So Wendy was just exaggerating, but nonetheless, basically Wendy Williams called her out. Now, here's my opinion on it. Wendy Williams don't have no friends, okay? When the story first hit that Nene and Wendy Williams were supposedly good girlfriends, I didn't really buy it to begin with, okay? You have to remember, when all this was going down with Wendy Williams and her husband, and she was getting a divorce, and I guess her husband, it's out there that she was getting a divorce from her husband because he had a baby with his side chick who he had been dating for years and years and years. I've made videos about this. Go check them out on my page, okay? So when all this happened, all of a sudden, Wendy Williams is hanging out with the Kardashians. And Wendy Williams is hanging out with Black China. And Wendy Williams is hanging out and close friends with Nene. And me personally, now looking back on it, I really feel like Wendy Williams trying to make all these connections was sincerely a plot to take attention away from the fact that Wendy Williams was getting a divorce from her husband. Because if you think about it, when the news of Wendy Williams getting a divorce first hit, it was everywhere. Everybody was talking about it. Page 6, all this. It was a fiasco. But after about a week or so, the situation went away. You had a couple of stories here and there coming out about, the divorce settlement and who gets what and this, that, and the third. But after the initial shock of it, you didn't really hear much of it after that. And I really feel like, and Wendy still didn't really address her divorce on her show. So I say that to say, I really feel like when she was, kind of fostering these relationships with these reality stars, I really feel like it was an attempt to kind of take attention away from the fact that she was going through this crazy time in her life. Now, if you think about it, the people that Wendy Williams did get cool with, okay, I'm not going to say they're not A-list celebrities. Excuse me, because the Kardashians are considered A-list. Nene, in a way, is considered A-list for the fact that she has been on syndicated shows and things like that. So, yes, but at the very end of the day, the Kardashians are reality TV stars. They are very high-profile reality TV stars. Before the Kardashians blew up, they always had money. They always had status, especially like in the California area. But they were nowhere near what they are now. And even when they first started, they're on like season 18. The Kardashians are on season 18 of their reality TV show, which is crazy. But when they first started their show back in 07, 08, they were living, I remember the house being so small that they lived in. So long story short, they really built their bags off of the reality show. And from the reality show, they were smart enough to start businesses and basically build this mogul of a family that they are. You know what I mean? But at the very end of the day, the Kardashians are reality TV stars, okay? Black China is an ex-stripper, social media reality star. Nene is a reality star. You didn't even really hear about about Wendy Williams hanging out and getting buddy-buddy with the Beyoncés, you know, and the Diana Rosses, and I guess the Regina Halls, I guess, or, you know, the Tyreses. She even attempted to go to one of 50 Cent's parties and couldn't even get in. And, you know, 50 Cent is an artist, whatever, which means that there was probably other A-list celebrities there, and Wendy Williams couldn't even get into that. So if you notice, when she was kind of socializing and kind of building these relationships with so-called celebrities, they weren't the top of the line A-list celebrities. And although the Kardashians are top of the line, at the very end of the day, they promote for the reality TV show. And yes, they're smart enough to do makeup and do skims and do this and do that. They're smart enough to use their platform to get bigger deals. But at the end of the day, they're reality TV stars. So I really feel like, and if you notice, she doesn't really bring up the Kardashians about her hanging out with the Kardashians and them like that. You don't really hear about her hanging out with Blac Chyna and them like that. And as you can see, I don't think Wendy considers Nene a friend like that. I feel like excuse me, let me get some water. Ooh, that's better. But I don't know where I was at, but I guess I'll try to springboard off of what I think I was talking about. Wendy Williams, you know, is not really Nene's friend, you know, and I think that was apparent when Wendy Williams went on her show and basically outed a personal text that Nene, you know, had sent to Wendy. You know, and Wendy seems like a wishy-washy person, especially in that entertainment. I think that she's really, really cool and close with her family and her, like, homegirls from Jersey and from college. I think she's obviously cool and she's not out on Hot Topics spilling their business. But when it comes to celebrities and all that, I think it was just really a front for her to kind of not have to talk about Kevin, and for the topic of Wendy Williams not to be her husband, but the topic of Wendy Williams is, oh, she's best friends with Nene Leakes. Her husband's sucking her dry and taking care of a new baby, but she's friends with Nene Leakes, because that's news. That's like, what? Wendy Williams is at the Kardashians' house. Her son and Kevin was fighting at the house. But Wendy Williams is hanging out with the Kardashians. I really feel like she did it just because that's not your friend. And honestly, I'm kind of, you know, kind of going between two ideas with Nene, because I feel like, Nene, you should know that Wendy Williams and her husband is the reason why Nene's talk show didn't advance. Remember when Nene went on the Breakfast Club and she basically and Charlamagne pretty much brought it up, and Nene was like, oh, you know a lot about the situation to Charlamagne, because Charlamagne knew that Nene had shot a pilot and everything to have some type of talk show, and then it was rumored that Kevin Hunter was the one who got her show out of there, and Nene confirmed that it was true, you know. And so Nene, you know that Kevin did that. Do you really think that Wendy Williams had no idea? Do you really think that Wendy Williams had absolutely no idea that Kevin Hunter was doing that or had no control? Wendy Williams, at the end of the day, is the money. And clearly, when Wendy Williams got pissed off enough, she left his motherfucking ass and packed her and her son up, and she dipped. So Wendy Williams I don't think that she's incapable of doing that, of getting rid of her husband. So I feel like Wendy Williams was the moneymaker at the end of the day. Of course, she probably respected her husband. Of course, her husband was probably abusive and was probably all of these things. But at the end of the day, Wendy Williams was the moneymaker. Do you really think that she had no idea that Nene was about to get a talk show? Wendy Williams, who's 6 foot, tall, skinny woman, and Wendy Williams, a tall, skinny, sorry about that. Wendy Williams, a tall, skinny woman, and Nene, a tall, skinny woman. One light skin, one dark skin. Like, Wendy Williams knew about that shit, and she might have hid behind, oh, Kevin Hunter got the show canceled, but in all reality, Wendy Williams knew about it. So I don't know if Nene is still trying to kind of keep up this relationship she has with Wendy Williams to just, I guess, stay kind of in that entertainment aspect of the business. I don't know. But I think Nene knows. I think Nene knows that Wendy Williams is really not her friend, but she wants to keep a good rapport. Because Wendy Williams is powerful, obviously, if she got Nene's show canceled. Because if these people were going to invest in Nene and give her a show, why did they do it? If Wendy Williams had that much of a pull, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I just feel like with Nene, Wendy is not your friend. Move on from that shit. And anybody moving forward who's considering being cool, I guess, with Wendy and spilling your deepest, darkest secrets, I would think twice about that. You know, be cool elbow to elbow. But you see when Black China got out of there. She had her little time with Wendy, and then when it was over, it was over. So that's that on that. Thank you for tuning into my video. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and until next time, deuces.